Back in May of this year, I started looking around for an SQ7 to replace my wife's Q5, which was suddenly too small with a car seat in the back seat. My knees were in the dash and I knew we needed something bigger, and what could go wrong with a 500 horsepower, four-door SUV? I found a great deal on one down in Georgia, so I booked a plane ticket, flew down, and saw the car in person. There was a few things wrong with it, namely there was some damage to the front bumper and grille and associated trim pieces. The interior smelled like someone had smoked in the car, despite the dealer telling me that it was not smoked in, and the tires were completely bald and basically showing cords. But me being the optimist that I am, I decided to look past those things. The deal was good enough at only $43,500 for a 2021 SQ5 fully loaded up with only 49,000 miles. So I made the deal, handed over the check, hopped in, and started the 1,600 mile drive home to southern New Hampshire from Beaufort, Georgia. The car did absolutely perfect the whole way home, and the drive was very enjoyable with the exception of course, New York and the George Washington Bridge, but that's to be expected. My wife loved the car, I loved the car, and she'd been driving it for a few days before I couldn't resist, and it was time to dig in and get started fixing some of these issues that the car had. And that's where we're going to begin today. We're going to start right here in the interior. We're actually up at the lake this weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, so happy Memorial Day weekend, although I think it's going to be way after Memorial Day when you guys finally see this video. But we're going to be starting on the interior of this car. I apologize, the lighting is not great. Let me turn on the flash, that might be a little bit better. The lighting is not great, but the interior of this car is very clean. But I did notice when I picked it up that there is a very slight hint that someone, whether it be a previous owner, a dealership employee, whatever, smoked in this car. It's really not that bad, but I would like to give this thing a top to bottom, surgically clean detail. For my wife, for my kid, just know that it's clean, know that it's germ free, know that it doesn't smell, and make sure that it's safe for us to ride in, which we already packed it up and loaded it up and took it up to the lake last night. I didn't even really notice the smell, but I'm sure that on a hot summer day, you might notice a little bit more. So we want to make sure this thing is clean. And I'm going to start just by giving it a good wipe down. I mean, it was a dealership vehicle. You'd think that they would have done that, but I noticed this. Let's see if I can do it here. See that? That's got to be like ash, right? So I think that I want to start by giving the vehicle a full wipe down. I got my steamer charging up now. I'm not going to go crazy, but I want to not use any chemicals. I just want to use steam to try and completely disinfect and clean all the door panels, all the surfaces you touch. A lot of you guys commented the seat belts are a good place to make sure you get that out of. I might very lightly and carefully do the headliner and just, then wipe it with a clean microfiber. But I don't want to use any chemicals yet. Right now, the goal is just to get any physical dirt or dust or ash or anything that is physically there off, so we can go to the next step, which is right here. Watch any video on how to remove smoke smell, and also you guys were all over this in the comments in the last video. We're gonna use an ozone generator to remove any lingering odors in this car. Basically, through science or something, this thing takes an O2 molecule and through like these two electrically charged plates, like breaks it apart, which then allows O3 molecules to form, which is an unstable molecule, which then as that breaks down because it wants to come back to O2, kind of takes odors with it or something. I don't know. Look it up. It's science. Someone smarter than me came up with this. So basically we're gonna leave this in the car, I think for like 20, 25 minutes. Then it needs to air out because you're not supposed to breathe this stuff, which is why they give you this handy little thing. Got this from my boy Jeff Bezos, so obviously link will be in the description, but it seems like these things work really well. And then obviously I'm gonna replace the cabin air filter as well, which I think I'm gonna start with because I want to remove it all together, and then I think we're going to blast the whole HVAC duct system with my steamer. Pretty sure on this car the cabin air filter is up under here under this little foam cover. So that should be a good start. Got a lot to do in this video. So let's get the steamer fired up, get that cabin air filter out, and then see if we can't get this thing ready for an ozone treatment. Cabin air filter, honestly not as bad as I thought it would be, but it certainly can be replaced. I think this one was like 18 bucks on Amazon. So spent the last couple hours surgically steaming and disinfecting this whole thing. It actually was really clean, but now we know for sure that there's no physical matter, you know, ash or dust or skin cells or anything like that on basically any surfaces. I went through this thing top to bottom, steamed all of the HVAC vents with the cabin air filter out, floor, you know, defrost, the vents up on the dash here, everything. So very, very clean now. Now I'm gonna let everything dry out, air out. We got a little bit of a breeze today. Sun actually came out finally. And we'll let this thing air out, dry out, and then we can close it up and do the ozone thing. And we want this thing to be as neutral as possible for the ozone, because if we were to come in there with any of our cleaners or our interior detailer, any of those odors from, you know, fragrances from the interior detailer would be eliminated by the ozone machine. So let's let this thing air out for a little while, then we'll close it all up, get the ozone thing going, and go from there. The old girl got the smoke delete kit. It's actually the next day, bright and early on Memorial Day. So happy Memorial Day to everyone. Thank you to all of our veterans out there. Let the car air out with all 4 doors and the hatch open yesterday after doing a 20-minute ozone treatment. Had the car running with the air recirculation on, and then let it kind of air out in the garage tonight, or overnight last night. It smells like nothing in here, which I think is the point. It smells like absolutely nothing. I can't smell anything. Maybe that's because of all the pollen that's out there that's congesting my nose, or more likely it's because the ozone treatment worked. It did smell like ozone for, I don't know, an hour or two, and I think that's pretty normal. But like I said, it was breezy yesterday, so it came through and hopefully got all of that out here. And now it smells like absolutely nothing. So the final step is to just give the interior like a quick wipe down using a normal product, which in this case, of course, is going to be Interior Detailer from Geon. This one in particular is the Q2M. So not that there should be any contaminants or bacteria or anything like that left in here. If nothing else, this is going to protect the interior surfaces. It's definitely going to smell good. I'm pretty sure this stuff smells like barbicide, almost like when you go to the barber shop. Smells awesome. So this is going to be our final step here. Wipe the whole interior down. We'll get the mats back in, even though I do really want to get some of those SQ7 Audi brand all-weather floor mats in this video as well. We'll get some of those on order. Had those in Maggie's Q5, and we love them. But we'll put these back in for now and then get all this cleaned up. And then we will get on to whatever's next in this video. I guess I got to order some parts, and then we'll talk again in a couple weeks. But for now, let's finish out this interior. We can check one thing off the list. Hopefully, I guess I'll know for sure after a hot day, is the smoke smell in this interior gone, but it's looking pretty good right now. It is surgically clean in there. Let's finish it out. Get some Audi parts. Yep, I'd say it's time for new tires. More plane content. What do we got? Plane experts are always letting me know what the models are, so tell me which military plane that is. Anyways, it's been a month and a half since I started filming this video on Memorial Day weekend. It's now a couple days after 4th of July, but we've made some progress on this thing. And the reason, of course, that progress has been slow is because this is now my wife's daily driver. I sold the Q5. She is driving this thing every day. We've done a bunch of trips in it, and we absolutely love it. I think we put over 2,000 miles on it since I bought it in Georgia in mid-May. We road tripped it from Beaufort, Georgia, up to New Hampshire. God, let's look in here, see how bad it is. Could be worse, you know, wife's car. Beach towel. Okay, not too bad. Way to go, Maggie. So yeah, we basically deep cleaned the whole interior, ozone machine, the whole interior. And I'd say the smell is 90% gone. And the only reason I say 90 is because I still smell something, but it almost smells like that ozone smell still. But I don't know. I don't think it's the smoke smell anymore. I think it's just, it's very neutral. It's really not bad, but it's definitely not the smoke smell anymore. It smells way better than when we bought the car. Maybe I run the ozone again. Will that make it worse? Do I get one of those like bio bomb things, or like Clorox in a dish or something, or an OxyClean in a dish? I don't know. Anyways, the smell is much, much better. And the car itself is super clean. We love it. Of course, you guys saw in the B-roll, went to Audi, got those SQ7 floor mats for the front. They look great, really completes the OEM look here. We love them in the Q5, so they're way less slippery than those greased up WeatherTechs that the dealer had in there. Same thing on the rear. Still need to get one for the third row. Also, phase 2, very important. This thing desperately needed new tires. So we got brand new tires on all 4 corners. I went with, what was it, the Lexani I don't even remember what brand, or I'm sorry, I don't even remember what model they are, but they're the same brand I've been running on all my Mercedes for years, and I've always had good luck with them. So new tires, this thing drives much better, and of course is going to be safe now. So now we can move on to the fun part, which is cosmetics. Biggest one being right here. I bought the car, it had damage to this lower valance piece here, and of course the grille was damaged here as well. And you guys might recall I really wanted the black optics package for this car, which includes all black trim, you know, mirror caps, and I think this bottom piece and a couple other things. But I couldn't find one that also had the important executive package that I really wanted on this car, which has the leather door panels and dash and the, you know, cooled front seats and all that stuff. So I decided I can add my own black optics package after the fact. So I ordered some parts from Audi for the front end, which we picked up in the Lightning. I got a grille off of eBay, and then all of this window trim, and then probably these mirror caps, those down there, and then I think some stuff back here. My buddy Ronnie of Hayden Graphics is going to be wrapping all of the trim gloss black, just like the black optics package. So we're going to be dropping that thing off to him tomorrow, but first I want to take a closer look at some of these parts that I bought from Audi. So let's get in the garage, take a look at them, see if we can come up with a plan. Well, I just realized I got a major score on this grill. This is the one part that I got on eBay because this grill assembly, you can only buy it as an assembly from Audi, is just under $2,000, which I figured we could do better than that. So I had to find either an SQ7 or a Q7 with the sport package, whatever it's called, grill. That's the difference. It has these like two little things on each of these bars here, and I think the shape is slightly different. I think this one was actually off of an SQ7. And the date code says that it was built in September of 2020, which means it would have been on a 2021 build, which is exactly what it's going on. But what I'm excited about is I got this grill for, I think, 320 bucks. I think it was 350 or 370 with shipping all the way from California, which is a great deal. And I was fully ready to have to repaint it because it looked like there was some deep gouges and scratches in this area and a couple down here and whatever. And I figured, okay, no big deal. If I know automotive grills, and I was right, you could just pop this whole piece out using these clips and we could easily repair it, scuff it up, paint it gloss black, and we'd be good to go, and I'd save a bunch of money. Turns out the whole thing was just PPF'd. Someone PPF'd this whole surface, and the damage that I was seeing was actually just damage to the PPF. So the PPF did its job, and I pulled it off, took some acetone, got off any of the extra adhesive in those areas, and this grill is so mint. So I mean, this, if it didn't have that damage, I think this thing would have sold for $600-700 on eBay, and we got it for, I think it was $350. So super psyched about that. So this is literally ready to bolt on. I'll probably run, my little Rupes mini polisher over it. We'll probably ceramic coat it. And this thing is ready to bolt on. These parts I got from Audi. So this piece goes on the lower part of the front bumper on the left side, or the passenger side. And it has a deep gouge in it. The original one does anyways. And I could have obviously repaired that and painted it, but I made friends with the lady at the local Audi parts dealership, and I think this was like 120 bucks or something like that, which is fairly cheap for an Audi painted part. You can see the factory where they would have painted this thing gloss black. You can see the overspray on the back there. But yeah, I figured it wasn't worth my time. Just get a genuine OEM Audi front part, and then that way all the black here on the front will match. Same thing on this side. The driver's side one was in worse shape. It had a few different scratches, so 120 bucks I think a pop for those. And then this is that whole piece that goes along the bottom. Same thing, black optics package. It's black. Mine is absolutely mangled, so of course we got the correct black one right from Audi. So with all this, we've got a complete black optics package for the front end, which solves that problem and also solves our damaged area on my original grill problem down there. Here's the part numbers for anyone that is looking to do a similar swap. And you can see what I paid there. Total $652.47 plus the grill. So we'll call it $1,000 in all these parts here. 3 of them are brand new right from the dealership. Well, actually, no, this includes the floor mats too. Yeah, so the floor mats were 200 of that. So 800 bucks for a basically mint black optics front end. So that's ready to go. But before I do any of that, we got to drop this car off, get the rest of the trim wrapped black, and then there might be a thing or two that we have to paint. And obviously the front bumper's got to come off, and there's a lot of actual work to do. So let's quit chatting and get to work here. Change of plans. It's a beautiful day, hot summer day in July. Let's go do some boating. All right, well, a lot has happened since I last checked in with you guys. I think we were supposed to be dropping this thing off to get all of the trim wrapped. And then right as I was about to leave, my buddy Ronnie, who's doing the wrapping, said, hey, I don't have enough black wrap to finish the job, and it's on like national back order. So this project was kind of put on hold for a couple weeks. But this week, my wife and I are on vacation, so we're up at the in-laws, up at the lake. I brought the Audi, I brought a bunch of parts in the Lightning, and I figured I'd get started on the grill swap. And then later this week, we're gonna be dropping it off to get the wrap stuff done because the wrap finally came in. But up in the in-laws garage right now, working on the Audi. The in-laws house is on a smaller lake up here in central New Hampshire. Every once a year, we decide we like to go over to Lake Winnipesaukee, which is one of the bigger lakes in the state, and explore, check out the restaurants, check out the bars, some of the sandbars, things like that. So we take the jet ski out of this lake, drive 2 miles down the road, pop it into Winnipesaukee, and then explore for the day. And the SQ7 came with the tow package. So we threw a hitch on it, towed the jet ski over to Winnipesaukee, and had an awesome day. But today we are hard at work up in the in-laws garage, and I already got the front bumper blown off this thing. Pretty easy, pretty standard. 2 big electrical connectors here. Got to pull this kind of trim fitting off. A bunch of T25 all the way up, down, over here. And then I think 4 of them up here. I think this connection that you have to undo is for the front camera. A couple wiggles, couple pulls. Boom, front bumper was off. So the whole thing comes off as one giant assembly. And just to review, we can see what we need to do here. Grill is damaged, this piece is damaged and broken, and we want to change everything to the black optics package. So we're going to change out these scratched up pieces anyways for the black ones that I already bought. Also, like 2 weeks ago, I noticed that there was a piece missing under here. There's like 3 of these plastic pieces, which I think are also black in the black optics package. So I grabbed one from the dealer, and you guys are not going to believe, or maybe you Audi guys will, how much this piece of plastic costs. Any takers? 220 US American dollars. Thankfully, the lady at the parts counter and I are starting to know each other on a first name basis, so she gave me a screaming deal at $200. But as soon as I noticed it wasn't there, and it's barely noticeable once the bumper's on the car, I obviously had to get it. But I honestly think I need to pull these 2 ones off and paint them black at some point, or maybe give them to Ronnie to wrap. I'm not sure yet, but I have everything I need to make this bumper mint again. And I think most of that is gonna happen from the back side. Probably more clips, more T25s. We'll take the grill out first and then see what's needed to access the bottom there. But basically that's what's up next. What a pain in the butt that was. Whoever designed this Audi front bumper was thinking about assembly and not disassembly. My fingers are completely raw. I'm bleeding in a couple areas, but we got all of these trim pieces swapped out. Just to do those 3 pieces took 2 hours of disassembly and then 5 minutes of reassembly. Basically all the clips to get this one long bottom piece and then this piece on either side completely hidden. You know, it's not these ones, they're all hidden down here. So you basically have to pry and pray and, you know, jam screwdrivers in there, try and wiggle stuff around, and eventually all of it came out. But man, half of it broke apart, which at a certain point I was glad about because I knew I was replacing them. But I don't know if you could get these out again without breaking them unless I'm missing something. This was a huge, huge pain. But then, of course, reassembly, click, 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 everything snapped right back in. But, you know, God help you if you need to take them out. Anyways, that is done. Here's the blacked out Black Optics package grille. Got my eBay black Audi rings on there. Got my SQ7 badge swapped over. Radar covers swapped over. Parking sensors. Camera. So this thing is basically ready to pop onto here. Then there's a, where is it? There's a support structure actually behind there I already put on, and then one more little grill piece that goes down here, and then all of the wiring connections and all that. Then it can all go back on the car. And then of course I have black rings for the back and a black SQ7 badge for the back. But it's a beautiful day, so I might just call it quits after this, after I get the bumper on and go enjoy the lake. But let's get back to work, see how far we get. No warning lights on the dash. It's a good sign so far. big progress in the last day or so. Front end is completely done. Got the blacked out or black optics grill on, got all the badges swapped over, the gloss black badge that I got off eBay on there, got my SQ7 badge swapped over, everything back together, front bumpers back on, totally blacked out, looks so much better, not only because it's blacked out, but because now there's not a bunch of damage down here. And other than these three things, which I still have to paint, I probably should have just had Ronnie wrap those, but whatever, we'll paint them. And then, of course, yes, did drop them off, or drop the car off with my buddy Ronnie, and his guys got everything wrapped in gloss black, the mirrors, the window trim, did the door trim down there on the bottom. Did this in gloss black, which I don't even know if this comes in gloss black when you get the black optics package on certain years. And then I said, hey, if you can do those pieces on the bottom too, save me from having to take the bumper apart and paint it, knock that out as well. So all that's left is I got a black SQ7 badge for here, and black rings right there, and then this thing is ready to roll, but it already looks so much better all blacked out, man. All right, let's bring this thing through the finish line. All right, back on home turf here. Vacation is over. It's time to get back to work. The final part of the SQ7 black optics package. Those three weird little fake air duct looking things on the bottom of the bumper that you can barely see. Probably just should have had Ronnie wrap those black, but I didn't bring them with me. And I had some of this extra Ford, what was this? G1, whatever the paint code of my truck is, but that apparently has blue flake in it. but that you would never see unless you got down, laid down on the ground and got a flashlight on it. So that's a perfect gloss black to use for what would be the glass or the black optics package. Painted them outside because I was way too lazy to inflate my paint booth. Did a minimal amount of prep because there was the most mosquitoes I have ever seen in one area. I was getting eaten alive. And then immediately brought them in here, so they're still wet right now. But they came out pretty good. I mean, if we wanted them perfect, there's, a couple nibs of dust here and there. But again, you're literally never going to see these. I just wanted them black. They're now prepped, adhesion promoter, 2 coats of base, 2 coats of clear. Should be durable. And you never know that they didn't come like this from the factory, because this is how they are from the factory too, painted. Finished up the emblems right before I left the lake yesterday, and they look awesome. Those last 2 little things really transformed the car. But right now the sun is going down, so I think I'm gonna give this thing a quick wash since it's been over a month since it's had one. Let these dry overnight, we'll pop them in the morning, and then we'll look at the final result here. Catch you guys tomorrow. Don't mind me. My Audi's just driving me home, taking me around this sharp corner. It does ask you to not do that though, so, keep both hands on the wheel at all times, but you can let go for a little bit before it yells at you to put a hand on the wheel. How dare they? This thing is so fast for a big SUV. What a mom-mobile. Could be worse. Could be worse. Though I hear a tune makes these things quite a bit faster. Well, over 2 months since I started this video on Memorial Day weekend. It is now early August, but we have finally finished my wife's SQ7, and I am absolutely psyched about the outcome. So to recap, did a complete deep clean of the interior, which is probably now already messy because we drive this thing everywhere, but steamed everywhere, put a new cabin air filter in, did the ozone treatment. The smoke smell in this car is, I'd say, basically completely gone. It's hot today. I just got in here. Didn't smell anything. Super clean interior. Of course, had to do the OEM Audi SQ7 floor mats. And of course, we couldn't have my wife going around on bald tires, so we got brand new tires for this thing. Went with the Lexanis, the same brand that I've run on the Mercedes for years. These things are great. Quiet, smooth, at much higher than the speed limits here in New Hampshire, and you know, I've been happy with the brand. So now we got a brand new set of tires on these factory 21-inch SQ7 wheels, all 4 tires. Up front, first and foremost, repaired the smashed in grille, which was down here in this piece here, and then while you're in there, you know, blacked out everything, which is, as I described, originally wanted the black optics package, and this car didn't have it, so I decided to go with the black grille, blacked out the Audi rings, this black piece here, which was broken, then did, of course, this trim piece right here, and the same one on the other side. Once that was all done, we dropped it off to my buddy Ronnie at Hayden Graphics, and he blacked out the rest of this stuff for me. Saved me a bunch of time doing paint work. All this is blacked out now, the SQ7 badge, the Audi rings. This thing looks so mean. And last but not least, painted up those 3 fake looking air duct things last night. Can't really see them if you're walking around the car, but if the car's approaching you kind of from far away, you can definitely see them. Looks menacing, looks much better than the silver that was on there. And now this all matches. And if I didn't tell you that this car didn't originally come with the black optics package, other than the wheels, I think the wheels are different on the black optics package, you'd never be able to know. And I like these wheels better than the black optics wheels anyways, so I think we're good there. So what else to do on this car? We have put over 3,000 miles on it. It's been awesome. My wife loves it. I love it. It sounds so good at cold startup. It sounds so good everywhere. It's comfortable. I don't know. I'm glad we bought it. I'm glad that we went with another Audi so far. I think that these 4.0 twin turbos are pretty reliable. And they're easy to mod, apparently. The tunes for these things unlock like an additional 200 plus horsepower, so you get the same power as the Urus or the RSQ8 or the RS6 or any of those other cars that share the exact same motor as this one. So should we do that? Or do we leave it as is? Do we mod this thing and not tell my wife? That'd be a nice little surprise, wouldn't it? Do we do a set of 22s or 23s? I really like those RS6 and RS7 style 22s in black. Or do we just leave it as is? Let me know what you guys want to see on the Audi in the comments, but right now this thing is perfect. I've fixed all the issues that I bought it with, and that was the goal. So my wife has a sweet daily driver. If you guys haven't already, check out the new brand Sullivan & Co. Get all the new merch, the While You're In There Cafe, the Brotella, the Just Needs a Clutch, and the best selling so far Sullivan & Co. brand t-shirt. You can check all that out at sullivan-co.com. Great way to support the channel. Keep content like this coming. So thank you guys as always for watching. Stay tuned. Hopefully later this week for a Marauder video. I'll catch you in the next one.